September 8th, 2021. Talk about a blast from the past. When right before Benjamin was born, there was something called Blues Clues that went on. It was on Nick Jr., Nickjr. Being that Nicklaus and I are both Nick, and Nickelodeon was also Canadian for short blurbs of movie theater newscasts way back when. But there was a guy named Steve on there, and then he went off to college and Joe replaced him. I don't know in esoteric what that means. I also stumbled upon something called N.C.I.S, which says on the television it's Naval Crimes Investigative Service. But again, I don't know if, is this just made for TV? Are these like all the alternate endings? Is this all the simultaneous shit that goes on in the world while everything falls apart? I don't know.
Clues. Well, the original host, Steve Burns, he has a message for all of you grown-up fans on social media. Listen.
I guess I just wanted to say that after all these years, I never forgot you. Ever. And I'm super glad we're still friends. Thanks, Ross.
We didn't forget you, Steve, and we love you. This video already has over 15 million views on Twitter, and in this, it's really like a heartfelt video. Steve jokes about the reality of growing up, from sharing clues with kids to now paying off student loans. Pretty relatable. Now, Steve left the show in 2002 to go off to college, and he was replaced by a so-called brother named Joe, and his departure sparked some rumors that he died by a drug overdose or a car accident. But thankfully, he was fine. None of that happened. Burns has since released an album, and he had several minor acting roles. And the tweet is part of Nick Jr.'s promotion of the 25th anniversary of Blues Clues. And there's a new Blues Clues movie due out in the near future. So now the kids of this generation can enjoy that. And now the most successful American play in Broadway history is returning to the Great White Way. Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird.
So, with that being said, hang on a second. I'm trying to think if I should segue into, there's a, if, I was thinking about this earlier, if I'm stuck between a cellular membrane and a cellular wall in a nucleus kind of a way, if you were able to insert a cell membrane, as of yesterday, when you saw the purple energy feature in front of my face, but I was on the outside of it, between what I would call a cellular membrane, cellular wall, and then the energy feature, which is kind of that Green Lantern look, but mine was more like a magenta purple color or pink color. And I'm stuck between the physicality cell wall, cell membrane combo, and then the cell membrane. I'm stuck in a void, VOID, or I don't know if you call it a NOID, NOID, because it's a cavity in between space and time, but the energy feature is not working properly at electrolyte for myomere or for my osteoclasts. And my nerve sensation, if the nerves run within the endoskeleton through the canniculi, they're not being energized properly, and there has to be some form of an anagram that's being created by the pressure system within, like, say, the femur. If a pressure comes inside here, this part of the femur, that might put too much pressure on it, that it might crack just by walking in the natural weather pattern of baromics. It sends off. I mean, the brain might not calculate it and let the human know that there's pain, because there's been times of that as well. But between the myelo sheath fibrous outside of the skeleton ligature system, and then the osteoclast sensory board on the inside of the bone, and then the motions that they create, there has to be some form of parallelogram and anagram that can be read, because I'm having all sorts of interstitial articulate joint fluid problems, which is also baromic centrifugal pressure grade issues, which takes the liquid and plasma from where it should be and moves it ever so slightly. So this way, the articulate joints as I move are cracking and not working properly, but it's cracking at the joint. At least it's sending the pressure signal down from the center of the bone. So, but I'm concerned that it's even at that level, because in the hip, in like the mid thigh area, right around this section, I'm having problems with sensory on a caniculi within the osteocyte and endoskeleton area of my femur. It's picking up pressure senses. First, it was just layered on myomere layer of striations, but now I feel it much deeper, which is inside, like the bone is starting to feel the outside pressure in pressure points that should not be exuded on a somewhat solid density bone. Right now it's September 8th, 2021. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It's Nicole Cattaruzza at star 1978, star 8378.